And happy Mother's Day to Michelle and indeed to all mothers right across Northern Ireland. This is a very strange Mother's Day. Normally, from my point of view, I would be attending church and then having lunch with my mother, and I'm sure that's the case for many people across Northern Ireland. And today we just want to say that we understand the difficulties that many children and many mothers are going through, and that's why we sent out our joint message last night to indicate that we understand the frustration that you're not going to be able to see your mother today. But please remember that it is for her own good that you're staying away. As Michelle says, the messages are very simple. We should social distance. We should wash our hands frequently with soap and water to try and kill the germs. And this is all about trying to flatten the peak of this disease and to make sure then that we're helping our National Health Service by not having a huge amount of people going into hospital at the one time. So we're asking people to do that, and I know there are many young fit people think that this doesn't apply to them, but it does apply to you, because you could very easily be carrying this disease into elderly and vulnerable people.
Yeah, it is a simple message, and you've both reinforced it again, quite rightly so. I just wonder what you make of the evidence that we are all seeing of people who are not heeding that message. Young people congregating in large numbers to mark the end of school, families heading out yesterday for a day in the sun, people who won't keep their distance in supermarkets or on the street. We've all seen that, we've all encountered that. What more do you think you can do to get that simple message across?
Well, I think there's two things. First of all, we need to keep repeating the message and explaining why we need people to heed the message, because it's about their families, it's about their communities, and it's about keeping people safe. But secondly, I think when the emergency legislation finishes its passage through the House of Parliament tomorrow, there will be legislation which will allow us to enforce social distancing and enforce all of these matters. And of course, one doesn't want to have to go down that road, but really it appears that in some cases we are going to have to enforce it.
Well, that's an interesting point that you make. I wonder what that would look like, because I see on social media the Justice Minister, Naomi Long's been talking about this to the chair of the Justice Committee, Paul Givan, who of course is a DUP MLA. The Minister says she's committed to protecting the public and to saving lives. Are you talking about some kind of enforced clampdown where people are legally required to stay at home and need permission to leave home?
Well, as you know, that has happened in other European countries. We certainly don't want to be in that position. We hope that people will heed the advice and heed what is being said. I heard Michael Deane talking about the fact there that he was receiving advice throughout the week, and now it's being enforced. I think some people will not move until these matters are enforced, and I think that's sad, but unfortunately that is the case.
If it came to stricter regulations,